Hello students, in our previous video we discussed the combination of the resistors. In this video right now we are discussing about the Kirchhoff laws and Wheatstone bridge. Kirchhoff laws and Wheatstone bridge. Why, first of all, why we are studying about that Kirchhoff laws? Kirchhoff laws. Okay. So in case of the simple circuits, by using the Ohm's law, we have find out what is the current passing through the resistors, or maybe yes. In case of the simple circuits, we find out the effective resistance also. Effective resistance, that is the easy way by using the parallel and series combinations and maybe mixed combinations. We find out the effective resistance. But in case of the complicated circuits, how we find out the effective resistance and how we calculate the current passing through the resistors. So for that, here right now we are discussing about that Kirchhoff laws. Okay. So first of all, here Kirchhoff proposed two rules. One is called as the Kirchhoff junction law, that is also called as the Kirchhoff current law, KCL, Kirchhoff current law. Second one is the Kirchhoff voltage law, or that is also called as the loop law. Okay. Kirchhoff laws. First one, Kirchhoff laws. Kirchhoff proposed two rules. Yes. Sorry. Right. So Kirchhoff proposed two rules. First one is the Kirchhoff current law, that is we are calling the KCL, Kirchhoff current law. This is also called as the junction law. KCL, Kirchhoff current law, or that is also called as the Kirchhoff junction law. Second one is the Kirchhoff voltage law, KVL, Kirchhoff voltage law. So here this is called as the loop law, Kirchhoff voltage law. This is also called as the loop law. Kirchhoff's loop law. Voltage law, first one is the Kirchhoff current law, second one is the Kirchhoff voltage law. Okay. So one by one we are discussing right now. First one, Kirchhoff current law. What is Kirchhoff current law? So in case of, yes, observe this is also called as the junction law. In case of this circuit, if you observe, so many elements are connected at this particular point. Something here, this is the R1 resistor, this one is the R2, and this is the R3 resistor. Some many other elements also. But I am taking here resistors R4, and this is the R5. Current passing through this resistor, that is nothing but the I1 is the current passing through the R1 resistor, that is enter into the junction, and here current passing through the second one is the I2. Current move away from the junction, that is the I3. Here this one, current moves away from the junction, that is the I4. Here this one is the something, I5 is the enter into the junction. So these are the currents passing through those resistors. According to the KCL, Kirchhoff current law, according to the Kirchhoff, the total current enter into the junction must and should equal to the total current leaves the junction. Total current enter into the junction must and should equal to the total current leaves the junction. So try to observe what are the currents enter into the junction. I1 is the current enter into the junction. I2 is the current enter into the junction. And I5 is the current enter into the junction. These three are the currents enter into the junction. And I3, I4 are the current leaves the junction. I3, I4 are the currents leaves the junction. According to the Kirchhoff current law, total current enter into the junction, that is nothing but I1, I2 and I3. Total current, using the term total, means sum of the currents enter into the junction, that is the I1 plus I2 plus I3. That one must and should equal to the total current leaves the junction. Observe what is that is I3 or I5? Sorry, this is the I5 is the current. I1 plus I2 plus I5 is must and should equal to the. These are the currents enter into the junction. The total current enter into the junction must and should equal to the total current leaves the junction. What is the current leaves the junction? This is the I3. I3 is the leaves the junction. This is the junction that will move away from it. And I4 is also same. That is also moves away from it. The total current enter into the junction must and should equal to the total current leaves the junction. What are the total currents leaves the junction? That is nothing but I3 plus I4. So I1 plus I2 plus I5 is equal to the I3 plus I4. So from here onwards, I1 plus I2 plus I5 minus I3 minus I4 is equal to 0. So in case of the, that is, we are represented sigma I is equal to 0. Sigma I is equal to 0. So that means algebraic sum of the currents at a junction, algebraic sum of the currents at a junction must and should becomes 0. Algebraic sum of the currents at a junction must and should becomes 0. So means at this junction, no sources are there. At the same time, no sinks are there. So charge is, what is the total current? Means total charge enter into the junction. Same charge leaves the junction. Here accumulation of the charge does not exist. Accumulation of the charge does not exist. Total current enter into the junction must and should equal to the total current leaves the junction. Observe the sign conventions. Currents enter into the junction, we are taking all are the positive. Leaves the junction, we are taking that is the negative. That is the negative. Total current enter into the junction must and should equal to the total current leaves the junction. Here one more point, remember, this one obeys the law of conservation of charge. Law of conservation of charge. Law of conservation of charge. So charge, we know that. What is law of conservation of charge? Charge can neither be created nor be destroyed. It is transferred from the one place to the another place. Okay. So this one obeys the. Here no sinks and sources are there. So total charge enter at the same time. Total charge leave. Both are same. Both are same. That is in terms of the current, total current enter into the junction must and should equal to the total current leaves the junction. That is regarding the Kirchhoff first law. That is also called as the junction law. So Kirchhoff first law obeys law of conservation of charge. Law of conservation of charge. So now we are discussing the second one, KVL. We are discussing the KVL. What is KVL? Kirchhoff's voltage law, that is also called as the loop law. Kirchhoff voltage law, that is also called as the loop law. Yes, that is also called as the loop law. So what is Kirchhoff loop law? First, try to observe this statement. The the algebraic sum of the potential differences. First one is the algebraic sum of the currents at a junction. That is the Kirchhoff current law. In case of the first law, the algebraic sum of the currents at a junction must and should becomes 0. In case of the KVL, in case of the Kirchhoff voltage law, that is also called as the loop law. In case of the Kirchhoff voltage law or loop law, the algebraic sum of the potential differences, algebraic sum of the potential differences in a closed loop. Here we are using the loop. In case of the second one, we are using the loops, not junction. That's why first one we are calling the junction law. Second one we are calling the loop law. The algebraic sum of the potential differences in a closed loop must and should becomes 0. Algebraic sum of the potential differences in a closed loop must and should becomes 0. So means that is nothing but the sigma V is equal to 0. Algebraic sum of the potential differences in a closed loop must and should becomes 0. That is the sigma V is equal to 0. Sigma V is equal to 0. So yes, observe. We are taking the one loop. Here so many. This one consists of the so many sources. Okay, I am taking this one is the one battery having the EMF that is equal to V1 volts. Potential difference between the ends of the terminals. Potential difference between the ends of these two terminals is equal to V volts. Here this one consists of the so many elements. This is the resistor R1 and this is the resistor R2, and here this is the third resistor R3. This is the V potential is the V. So here this is the high potential and this one is the low potential. High potential and low potential. We know that current is always passing from the high potential to the low potential, means positive charges. Positive charges are always flows from the high potential to the low potential, but electrons are quite opposite, from low potential to the high potential. Here current is passing through this circuit, something I amperes is the current passing through this circuit. When current is passing through these resistors, this is the R3 resistor. When current is passing through these resistors, potential is drops. Across the resistors, potential is decreases. Try to observe. I am taking, this is the potential, that one is equal to something 100 volts. This is at the 100 volts. Positive one is at the 100 volts and negative one is at the 0 volts. Potential difference is equal to 100 volts only. Or maybe this is the 200 volts, this is the 100 volts. At that situation also potential difference is equal to same 100 volts only. So current starts from the positive terminal of the battery and that is moving and approaches the negative one. Negative one. Here when we are moving in this path, yes, I am giving the path like this. When we are moving in this path, that potential is gradually decreases. We are using that word potential drop. What is the meaning of the potential drop? Means potential is decreases. Potential is decreases. What is the potential drop across this first resistor? According to the Ohm's law, once again we go to the basic one. According to the Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. But here current is the I, resistance is the R1, therefore potential drop across the first resistor, that is the IR1. What about the potential drop across the second resistor? That is the V2 is equal to I into R2. Potential drop across the third resistor, V3 is equal to I into R3. So observe how we apply that Kirchhoff voltage law. What is the statement? The algebraic sum of the potential differences in a closed loop must and should becomes 0. Yes, here potential is dropped across the first resistor. Potential is dropped. Here potential is equal to how much? Actually V1, that is the drops. Drop means that the value is decreases. So minus V1. Here potential is the potential drop across the first resistor. V1 potential drop across the second resistor. V2 potential drop across the third resistor. V3. Those values also here. Values also here. So minus V1 means that one represent the potential drop. The negative sign represent the potential drop. Next one here. What is the potential drop across the second resistor? That is V2. We are using the term potential drop. So minus V2. Next one is the minus V3. So observe here right now we are moving from the low potential to the high potential. Low potential to the high potential. Potential value increases means that is the plus V is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Whatever it may be, not only 100 volts, whatever. The voltage is the V volts. V volts. So plus V is equal to 0. From this one, V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. That is, V is equal to I into R1 plus R2 plus R3. R1 plus R2 plus R3. From this one, current is equal to how much? Current is equal to V by R1 plus R2 plus R3. Here we are using the Kirchhoff voltage law. That is also called as the loop law. That is also called as the loop law. So here Kirchhoff voltage law, that one obeys the law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. There is a second one. First one is the law of conservation of charge. Law of conservation of charge. Law of conservation of charge. So how we apply this Kirchhoff voltage law for the loop? For the loop. Okay. So this is a concept. Try to observe the concept first. We are applying this one to the Wheatstone bridge. Right now we are deriving the expression for the bridge balancing condition. We are deriving the expression for bridge balancing condition. Okay, right. Yes. So next one is the Wheatstone bridge. Next one, bridge balancing condition. Wheatstone bridge balancing condition. Right. What is the Wheatstone bridge? Here by using the four resistors P, Q, R, S. These are the four resistors. By using these four resistors, we can form the four junctions. By using these four resistors, we can form the four junctions. Try to observe. This is the resistor, first one P, and this is the second resistor, third resistor, this is the third resistor, and this one is the fourth resistor. That is fourth resistor. So yes, I am representing those resistors also. This is the first one P, and this is the second resistor Q. This is the third one R, and fourth one, that is the S. Fourth resistor, that is the S. By using these four resistors, we can form the four junctions. Those junctions are the first one A, second one B, third one C, and fourth one is D. In between the B and a D, one galvanometer is connected. That galvanometer has some resistance, that is the capital G. Resistance is the capital G. So at the same time, in between the A and C, we connected a battery. In between A and C, we connected a battery having the potential difference V ohms. So this arrangement we are calling the Wheatstone bridge. So right now we are deriving the expression for the bridge balancing condition. So what is that bridge balancing condition? Try to observe first of all here. From here onwards, I is the current from the positive terminal of the battery. I is the current starts from the positive terminal of the battery. And when that one approaches the junction A, that current is split into the I1 and I2. I1 is the current passing through the resistor P, and that is approaches the junction B. That is approaches the junction B. When that I1 current approaches the junction B, the current passing through this galvanometer is the IC. That means that is also splits into the two parts. Current passing through the galvanometer is the I, and current passing through the resistor Q, that is the I3. And here current is passing in this direction. Here I2 is also joined at the point D. So observe here, at point D currents enter into the junction D is IC and I2. Both are combined and form the current, that is the I4. From here onwards, I3 current approaches the junction C, and I4 is also approaches the junction C. So we know that what is the total current starts from the positive terminal of the battery, same current approaches the negative terminal. So means here that is the I. So means I is equal to, here I is equal to I3 plus I4. I is equal to I3 plus I4 according to the Kirchhoff first law. Total current enter into the junction must and should equal to the total current leaves the junction. So this circuit we are calling the Wheatstone bridge. Right now we are deriving expression for the bridge balancing condition. So what is that bridge balancing condition? First of all, try to observe. So apply the KCL at point B and at D. Apply the KCL. What is KCL? Kirchhoff current law. Apply KCL at point A, at point B, sorry, at point B. When we apply the Kirchhoff voltage law at point B, what is the current enter into the junction? That is the I1. Current leaves the junction I3 and IC. So apply the KCL at point B, that is nothing but from this I1 is equal to, this is the current enter into the junction B, I1 is equal to I3 plus IC. That is the equation number 1. Next, apply the Kirchhoff current law at point D. That implies here I2 is the current approaching the junction D and IC is the current approaching the junction D. So total current enter into the junction, that is the I2 plus IC, is equal to how much is leaves the junction? I4. So I2 plus IC must and should equal to the I4. This is the equation number 2. That is equation number 2. Next one. Here observe, this is the one loop. I am taking, this is the A, B, D, A is the first loop and B, C, D, B is the second loop. This is the first loop and this one is the second loop. So for these loops, apply the Kirchhoff voltage law. Apply KVL to first and second loops, that is the ABS. Apply KVL to ABDA loop. Observe. Here when current is passing from in this resistor means here must and should, A is must and should at higher potential, B is must and should at low potential. A is at higher potential and B is at lower potential. So current is passing in this direction. So potential is drops, potential is decreases. That's why when potential is drops, we are using the negative sign. what is the potential drop across the resistor? P resistor. That is nothing but the minus I1 into P. Minus I1 into P. Yes, observe. Here is also, this is a B is at the higher potential compared to the D. So current is moving in this direction. Potential is drop. Potential is drop. So that's why here minus yes, minus I1 into P minus Ig into G. Resistance of that galvanometer is the Ig. Therefore, Ig into capital G is equal to observe here current is moving in this direction means compulsory A is at the higher potential compared to the potential at point D. Potential at point D. We are moving in this direction means potential value is increases, not decreases. Right now potential value is increases. When potential value is drops, we kept the negative sign. When potential value is increases, we kept the positive sign. Potential value is increases, that is the positive sign. Therefore, here this one is the plus I2 into R, that is the potential difference, that is the I2 into R. Here why we are not kept the negative sign? Try to observe. In the previous situation, A to B, potential at point A is more than that of the potential at point B. We are moving in this path, potential is decreases. But here we are moving in this path from D to A. Here current is moving in this direction means this is at the lower potential and A is at the higher potential. We are moving and approaching the higher potential. That's why we get the positive sign. Is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. Is equal to 0. This is the equation number 3. That is equation number 3. So don't by hearting that one. So in this direction if you are moving positive sign, in this direction negative sign, no need. So which one is at the higher potential and which one is at the lower potential? You try to observe that enough. Here current is moving in this direction means compulsory VA, potential at point A is more than that of the potential at point D. We are moving from the lower potential to the higher potential. So that's why we are taking the positive sign. So in case of the by-hearting, in this direction, current, we are moving in this direction, current is also in the same direction, so that is the negative sign. We are moving opposite direction, we are taking the positive sign. No need. Concept wise if you go, that one becomes easy. This is the higher potential, this is the lower potential. Next one. Apply the KVL to BCDB loop. BCDB loop. For this loop, if you apply the KVL, not KCL, KVL, observe here. Here current is moving in this direction. Current is moving in this direction. Means compared to the C, B is must and should at higher potential. So current is passing from the higher potential to the lower potential. Higher potential to the lower potential. So potential is drop. Potential is drop. So that's why here across this one we kept the negative sign. Minus I3 into Q. Minus I3 into Q. Here observe current is moving in this direction. We are moving opposite direction. Means we are moving from lower potential to the higher potential. Means potential value is increases. Potential value VD is more than that of the VC. VD is more than that of the VC. So potential is increases when we are moving from the C to the D. That's why here we kept the positive sign. Why? Because potential is increases. That's why here we kept the positive sign. Place. What is that potential? I4 into S. That is the I4 into S. Next, here observe this comparative to the B and a D. B is at the higher potential. Current is moving in this direction. Current is moving in this direction. So comparative to the D, B must and should at higher potential. Higher potential. Therefore, here we are moving in this direction from low potential to the high potential. That's why we are taking the positive sign. That is nothing but plus plus Ig into capital G is equal to 0. That is the equation number 4. Equation number 4. Right now we want to derive the expression for the bridge balancing condition. Bridge balancing condition. Bridge balancing means the current passing through this galvanometer must and should becomes 0. When current passing through the galvanometer becomes 0, when potential at point B is equal to the potential at point D, then current is not passing through this. So when current passing through the galvanometer is equal to 0, then we have said that the bridge is balanced. The bridge is said to be balanced. When current passing through the galvanometer is 0, bridge is said to be balanced. So if in case if Ig is equal to 0, Ig is equal to 0, then bridge is said to be balanced. Bridge is said to be balanced. Bridge is said to be balanced. So when Ig is equal to 0, observe here. From equation 1, I1 is equal to how much? I3. From 1, I1 is equal to I3. This is the equation number 5. And from the equation number 2, from equation 2, so I2 is equal to I4. This is the equation number 6. Ig is equal to 0, then only bridge is said to be balanced. When bridge is said to be balanced, Ig is equal to 0. From equation number 2, I2 must and should be equal to the I4. I2 must and should be equal to the I4. At the same time, here, how this one is changed? From equation 3. So total this term becomes 0. Therefore, minus I1 into P plus I2 into R is equal to 0. From this one, I1 into P is equal to I2 into R. This is the equation number 7. That is equation number 7. Okay, next one. So here, from equation number 4, from 4, this is the Ig is equal to 0. Therefore, minus I3 plus I4 is equal to 0. Minus I3 into Q minus I3 into Q plus I4 into S is equal to 0. That implies I3 into Q is equal to I4 into S. That is the equation number 8. Equation number 8. Equation 7 by 8. Try to observe. Equation 7 by 8. Equation 7 by equation 8. That implies I1 into P by I3 into Q is equal to I2 into R by I4 into S. I2 into R by I4 into S. But observe from equation 5 and 6, I1 is equal to I3. These two are cancelled. At the same time, I2 is equal to I4. So these two are also cancelled from equation 5 and 6. From that one, P by Q is equal to R by S. This is the condition for the bridge balance. Wheatstone bridge balancing condition. When P by Q is equal to the R by S, then the current passing through this middle one is equal to 0. Here we are taking the galvanometer. So the current passing through the galvanometer is equal to 0. When that one is happened, when P by Q is equal to the R by S, then current passing through the galvanometer is equal to 0. Okay. So that is the condition for the that is the Wheatstone bridge balancing condition. Wheatstone bridge balancing condition. By using this concept, we will solve the problems in the next video. Okay, right. Thank you all of you.